This is the second time that I've tried to do this video. I'm not that great with videos just yet. I'm still learning. I did quite a long video covering this material, and I thought, well, that's great. Everything's worked out fine. And then when I played it back, I cut the top half off. So here we go again, version 2.0. So this is a bit of an extension video on factorizing quadratics, or trinomials as our American friends refer to them. So again, we want to take this expression and we want to put it in the form in that form there. So the complicating factor is this 2 out the front, but it's not really much of a complicating factor if you know the algorithm. But before we do that, we should always ask the question, do they have something in common? Do all of these terms have some factor in common? And the answer is 2. They're all multiples of 2. 2x squared, 2x, and minus 4 is multiple of 2. Minus 2 times 2 is minus 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to factor out, before we do anything, that 2. And that's going to make our life a lot easier. Always be lazy in maths if you can be. You might call it lazy, I just call it efficient. So I'm going to factor out the 2 straight away. So 2 times what equals 2x squared? Well, 2 times x squared is 2x squared. Okay, 2 times what equals negative 2x? Well, it's negative x. And just for us, I'm going to put the 1 there so we can see that it's there. 2 times what gives us negative 4? Well, it's negative 2. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. So it's pre-factorized. And now we have this form, which is really great. This is a form that we're familiar with. It's just that there's a 2 out the front. And we're just going to leave that there. So we're going to factorize the stuff that's in the brackets here. So we want to find a multiple, a factor of negative 2 that multiplies to give us negative 2 and adds to give us negative 1. Well, negative 2 has factors of negative 2 and 1, and looks like that's our winner straight away. And plus 1, negative 2. Remember, you always have to consider the negatives. This obviously is not the answer. This gives us positive 1, so it's not that. So this is our winner today. So we're just going to do what we did normally. We're going to leave the 2 there. X minus 2. X plus 1. And that's it. We're done. Let's expand it out. So x times x there is x squared. Minus 2 times x is minus 2x. X times positive 1 is plus 1x. And minus 2 times plus 1 is minus 2. Is that the same as what we had up here? Yep. X squared minus 1x minus 2. Okay, now let's multiply everything by 2. 2x squared minus 2x minus 4. Is that what we started with? Yeah, it is. That's what we started with. So we got it right. We just factorized it as per normal, and we just sort of carried this 2 down. making sure not to cut the top off this one. There we go, that's better. Well, same thing. Let's go through the algorithm. There's no common factor here. They don't have a number in common, they don't have an x in common, there's no x here with a constant term. So we're going to have to use our algorithm. So remember, our algorithm is we take the coefficient in front of the x squared and multiply it by the constant term. So 2 times 3, hopefully you don't need to use the calculator, equals 6. So we're looking for a multiple of 6 that multiplies to give us 6 and adds to give us positive 7. Well, there's one that springs up straight away, and it's 6 and 1. But for the sake of argument, let's go through all of the terms. Remember, we have to consider the negative terms. And there is negative 3, negative 2, positive 3, positive 2. Negative 6 minus 1 is minus 7, so it's not that one. Minus 3 minus 2 is minus 5, it's not that one. 3 plus 2 is positive 5, it's not that one. 6 plus 1 is 7, so it's that one. So I'm going to rewrite this so that it's in this form. So the 2x squared stays as it is, and now I'm going to add 6x plus, and I'm going to put the 1 there, plus 1x plus 3. So just convince yourself to just go through it. The plus 7x, it's just sort of cut in 2 pieces there. This is exactly equal to this. It's just that this is in a sort of muddling long version. Okay, so now let's cut it in half. So 2x squared plus 6x, let's factorise it. Do they have a common factor? Well, the common factor there is 2x. So 2x times what gives us 2x squared? Well, it's x. 2x times what gives us plus 6x? Well, it's plus 3. Now we do the other side. Now this other side doesn't factor. There's no common factor. There's no trick there. So it is itself factorized when we put a bracket in there. But just beware that we need a coefficient out the front. We have to have that coefficient. If we didn't do anything, we have to put that plus 1 there. It doesn't make any difference if we expanded it, but for our sake it does make a world of difference. Okay, we're going to collect up the common terms here. So the factors inside the bracket is x plus 3, they have it in common, and then the other bracket is 2x plus 1. And that's it. It's factorized. So let's just make sure it's expanded out. X times 2x is 2x squared. 3 times 2x is 6x. X times 1 is 1x. 3 times 1 is 3. And collecting up the terms. Is that the same as what we started with? Yeah. Okay, so far, so good. Being extra careful not to cut it off. And that'll do. Alright. Is there a common term there? And the answer is no. So let's just do our algorithm. So 3 times positive 6 is 18, and 18 has a lot of multiples, so we want something that multiplies to give us 18 and adds to give us positive 11. Excuse me. Well, there's 18 and 1, There's minus 18 and minus 1. There is 9 and 2, and I think we have a winner. Minus 9 and minus 2. Are there any others? Well, there's 6 and 3, and negative 6 and negative 3. 18 plus 1 is 19. It's not that. Minus 18 minus 1 is minus 19. It's not that. 9 plus 2 is 11. So it's that, but we'll just make sure. Minus 9 minus 2 is minus 11. 6 plus 3 is 9, so it's not that. Minus 6 minus 3 is minus 9. It's not that. So our only possible answer is 9 and 2. So I'm going to break up the x term into 9 and 2. And a little trick here, I could do this in any order. I'm going to go plus 9x because it's going to factorize really nicely later on. Right, so we've just expanded it out, and now we're going to cut it in two. What's the common term here? Well, it's 3x. 3x times what is 3x squared? It's going to be x. 3x times what equals positive 9x? Well, it's plus 3. And here, 2x plus 6. Is there a common term? Yep, it's 2. 2 times what equals 2x? X. 2 times what equals 6? Well, it's positive 3. And notice here we have the same thing in brackets. If we don't get that, we've made a mistake. But we do have it, so I'm just going to combine what's outside the brackets and inside the brackets. So the terms that are outside the brackets and the terms inside the brackets. It looks like magic, but it's not really, because if we expanded this out, we would just get what's at the top there. So let's test it out. 3x times x is 3x squared. 2 times x is 2x. 3x times 3 is 9x. And 2 times 3 is 6 when we combine those like terms. Is this the same as what we started with? Yeah. Trust the process. Which is more than I trust this computer at the moment. I got a new keyboard and it just does weird things since I put it in. Okay, there's nothing in common here, so let's just go to our algorithm. Positive 6 times negative 6 is negative 36. Okay, so we want something that multiplies to give us negative 36 and adds to give us negative 5. Well, let's look at the factors of 36. There's 36 and negative 1, negative 36 and positive 1. It's obviously neither of those. There is 6 and negative 6. It's obviously neither of those. And there is minus 9, positive 4. I think we have a winner. I think 18 and 2 is as well, isn't it? Yeah. But neither of those meet our criteria. So minus 9 and positive 4. Let's expand this out. Now, is there an even number there? Yep. So I'm going to put the plus 4x. so that it factorizes nicely. I'm just going to cut that off. Okay, same thing. We're just going to cut it down the middle there and factorize them separately. So 6x squared and 4x, do they have anything in common? Yep, they've got 2x in common. So 2x times what gives us 6x squared? Well, 2 times 3x is 6x squared. 2 times what gives us 4x? Well, it's positive 2. Okay, now let's factorize the other side. Is there a common factor there? Yeah, there's a 3 in there.
A few moments later.
And we're back. Sorry, the guy across the road is a mechanic and he thinks it's a really cool idea to rev his car up. Yes, less said about him the better. So minus 9x and negative 6, does it have a common factor? Well, it has a common factor of negative 3. So negative 3 times what gives us negative 9x? Well, 3x there. Negative 3 times what gives us negative 6? Well, it's going to be positive 2. And again, we have the same thing in brackets there. So we're on the right track. Combine what's outside the brackets with what's inside the brackets. And we're done. So let's test it. 6x times 2x times 3x is 6x squared. Minus 3 times 3x is minus 9x. 2x times 2 is 4x. And minus 3 times positive 2 is minus 6. When we combine them, is that what we started with? Yes. So we've done that right. Revving cars and all. Okay, one last one, and I don't want that. Is there anything common in this one? No. So we have to expand out. So 4 times negative 3 is, of course, negative 12. So we want two numbers that multiply to give us negative 12 and add to give us negative 4. Well, there's 12 negative 1. There is negative 12 positive 1. There is 6 and 2. Minus 6 and positive 2. And there is minus 4, 3, and 4 minus 3. So only one of them works, and it is that one. Let's go through them. 12 minus 1 is 11. It's not that. Minus 12 plus 1 is minus 11. It's not that. 6 minus 2 is minus 4. Close, but not good enough. Minus 4 plus 3 is minus 1. It's not that. 4 minus 3 is positive 1. It's not that. So our answer must be that. So now we're going to expand this out. And I'm going to put it in that order. It's just easier to factorize. I might actually do it the other way around just to show that we get the same result. So is there anything common in these first two terms? Yep, 2x is common. So 2x times what gives us 4x squared? Well, it's 2x. So 2x times what gives us 2x? Well, it's 1. Okay, so We suspect we're going to have the same thing as there, but let's make sure. Is there a common term here between both of these? Yep, -3 is a common term there. So -3 times what gives us -6? Well, it's 2x, it's looking promising. -3 times what gives us -3? Well, it's +1. Same thing, we're on the right track. Let's combine those terms. And we're done. Okay, let's, for a moment, let's say we did it the other way around at this step here, and we had a -6, so we had 4x squared minus 6x plus 2x minus 3. We factorized those two first. Do these have a common factor? Yep, they have a common factor of 2x, and 2x times what is 4x squared? Was 2x. 2x times what gives us -6x? What is -3? And this side, 2x minus 3, does this have a common factor? Can we factorize it? No, we can't factorize it anymore. But remember, we have to have the one out the front. And now when we combine them, the things that are outside the brackets and inside the brackets work. We expand that, we get that, and we're done. Finally. Oh, no. One more. Okay, 5 and 6. Obviously, when we multiply them together, we get 30. And it should be pretty good at getting these now. And it's going to be 10 and 3. Mind, though, that there is a little trap here. 15 and 2 could conceivably get us to 13. But notice that 15 and 2 is 17. We would need that to be a negative. But when we multiply that together, we would get a -30. So it's not that. And my computer's just decided to resize itself, but okay. So let's expand it out. So we have 5x squared. Which one are we going to choose? The 3 or the 10? I'm going to choose the 10 because it's going to factorize a bit nicer. Okay, so just double check. 10x plus 3x is 13x. Cool. The 6 stays there. The 5x squared stays there. And now we're going to factorize the first two terms. Do they have a common factor? Yep, they have a common factor of 5x. 5x times what gives us 5x squared? Well, 5x times x is 5x squared. 5x times what gives us plus 10x? Well, it's going to be plus 2. Okay, do these things have anything in common? Well, the answer is yeah, they have a 3 in common. 3 times what gives us 3x? Well, it's going to be x. 3 times what gives us 6? It's plus 2. These are the same. They now have a common term. So I'm effectively going to factor out a factor. So I'm going to sort of double factorize it. So outside the brackets, 5x plus 3. Inside the brackets is x plus 2. Just as double check, does this work out? 5x times x is 5x squared. 5x times 2 is 10x. 3 times x is 3x. And 3 times 2 is 6. Collect up those like terms. Is that the same as what we started with? Yep, 5x squared, 13x, 6, and we're done. We are really done this time. Revved cars, cut off screens. We've overcome adversity. Algebra works.